Well, welcome back for She Said. We got Kate here with us,
Yay!
swapping out Emily for Kate.
Yeah, I just said we all kind of match.
I was about to say,
Emily too. That's so cool.
we'll be taking our portrait later.
We're all trying to look good on this Black Friday,
Black
it
Friday.
seems. Yeah. Well, forget about looks and personality. It's your credit score that could be the key to finding the perfect partner. Well, that's what a new dating website thinks. They're called creditscoredating.com. They match people up based on their financial stability. The site has you enter a credit score and claims a 92% accuracy rate. A relationship expert says good credit score indicates that someone's responsible, and millennials are interested in authenticity, but also points out that credit reports aren't always reliable. Ms. Foxade on your side, what would you like to
Well, immediately, I think this is hilarious.
Me too.
Is it come to this? Like, this is how you find your life partner?
credit
with
score.
something like that?
Credit
Well,
Yeah.
wouldn't you, if you have a bad credit score, wouldn't you be looking for someone with a good credit score to improve
that's
your
true.
own state of life?
And who's saying you don't say, I've got the best credit score on the planet,
Right.
and you
Yes,
actually
and
don't?
you actually don't. I don't.
A
Yeah.
liar.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
When you are auditioning single men,
Let me tell you,
to
my
have
first
a
question is, what's your credit score?
exactly. Excuse me. May I see a copy of your W-2,
Yeah.
your
When you come to dinner, I need your 401k, your W-2 , and you know, I
Please
don't know, many
be
other things.
tall, dark, and handsome,
Right.
and
Do
have
you
a
have a
good credit
sidecar?
score.
Right. And a good sense of humor helps too. I think it does. We're married ladies who've been married a long time. I mean, obviously, finances, money, it's a big thing in marriage.
It
When
is.
you're
I think you can-
merging
yeah.
together like that. And so
Yeah.
I think it is important to talk about those things. The credit
Yeah.
score, I don't know. But
I think it's important, but it's not something you're going to out-ask. I think
Yeah.
you can look at the person and talk to the person and see if they're financially responsible
Oh,
or
yeah.
in life responsible. You know, and if
Yeah.
they're not, you're going to tell pretty quick.
There's
Like
other
that.
indicators like, do you have your own home?
Sure.
Do you
Yeah.
have a job?
Do you have a car?
I
Do you,
mean,
you know,
exactly.
you ride the bike. Like, what's up?
Are you paying for the dates? I mean,
right.
But don't always judge a man on his car. My sister dated a
No,
guy for a
yeah.
while who drove a
No.
really old, beat-up car,
Yeah.
but he was actually very wealthy.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways he was wealthy, is that
Exactly.
he made choices like that. And so
you
be
know what?
careful about judging things like that.
The key is your credit score might be great, but are you nice? Are you
Yeah.
kind? I think
Right.
that matters. You know,
it does.
I'm still dying though. That app is hilarious.
Yes, it is. You can always try it.
We'll
Yeah.
see how that one works out.
Oh, well, you guys, all right, moving on. With the number of letters being sent through the mail, dropping some postal services are turning to more creative ways to earn money. I'm not talking about adding Sunday delivery like the post office here has. I'm talking about food delivery. Specifically, get this, KFC. It may sound weird, but postal workers in New Zealand are delivering fried chicken to customers. This has been going on since February, and the post office says so far it's been a huge hit. KFC is very popular in that country, obviously, and the company that owns KFC in New Zealand says they came up with the idea because they needed help getting their fast food to customers. And the post office knows the ins and outs of every town. This cracks me up, like delivering KFC.
What do you
pretty cool.
think?
I'm all about it. Are you kidding me? I'm all about it. Yeah.
This is like the most genius. Why aren't we doing this in the U.S.?
That's what I want to know. And
Well,
like
there
other
are
restaurants
delivery
too.
services
Oh,
that
sure.
will go to different restaurants
Right,
and bring you food.
right.
That's their job.
Yes,
Sometimes I have to pay for that.
I
You've
use
done
the
it?
website regularly.
Yeah.
and I don't want to give. What? Yes, it's fabulous.
Yes, so they don't have to be from that restaurant.
Right,
They are an
right.
independent business
Right.
that will go
Yeah.
get the food for you as takeout style and then bring it to your house for a small fee.
I have done Uber, and I'll like put in like where I want to go, but actually I'm not going. They're gonna go pick it up, and they'll bring the food to you.
Do they do that?
Do they? Well, I don't know if it like they actually, but they have, yeah.
But they do it for you. You've asked,
I'll
and they've
call
done
them and
it.
be like, listen, and yeah, and you just like
That's
tack on like a little bit of
good.
an extra tip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when they're reeled in, they're reeled in. You know what I mean?
Can
There's
we
a
talk
cancellation
about
fee
how
either way.
lazy this is, though? At some point, you have to question.
Now hold on. Now I think it kind of goes in there with like grocery store.
She's
pickup.
about. I knew you were gonna. I am a proud
Which I
user
love, by the way.
of the pickup
Yeah.
at my local grocery store.
Yeah.
You use an app on your phone. You do your groceries. You pay for it. You go pick up. You press the little button on
Yeah.
the call box. They bring out your groceries, load them, and you're out.
I think it's genius. I think
I
it's
am
genius.
so behind the times. I've not
You
done
need to
any of
do-
these
oh,
things.
Some
Shannon, you
Uber
need to
drivers
do it.
don't like that. My rating's a little low, but you know that's okay.
You're right.
It's a little low.
Kate's gonna change her Uber
Yeah,
name.
that's-
so
you
she
need
can get
to.
a better rating.
You need
to
to.
account.
You need to say, hey, I'll throw in an extra sandwich or extra piece
can
of
get
chicken
yourself
for
some.
you.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. Yes, give them the menu. Let them
That's
order
a
as
really
well.
nice thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna start doing that.
Order whatever
Smart.
you'd like,
Give back.
and I'll tip it really well. This
Yeah.
is, who knew? Like,
I love
this could
that.
be a whole side
We're
service.
lazy. This is
Yeah,
bad.
we're the worst.
I will a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I don't know what your excuse is.
I have,
Yeah.
let's move on.
She has a lot of friends.
Yeah, a lot of friends.
That's exactly what it is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if we can't get people to bring food to us, this means we have to cook ourselves in our home. It's something that actually happens in some homes. So let's take you to cooking class. And this morning she said, here are a few easy things that a lot of us may do incorrectly. I learned something when we were putting the segment together. So you see a recipe, it calls for dried herbs, you know, thyme or oregano, and it says you need a teaspoon. If you're using a fresh version of that, you only need a third of what's called for in the recipe if it's fresh. That makes sense, right? So you don't want to use too much. Okay, overcrowding a cooking dish. It's tempting to put everything in one pan, but especially when you're cooking meat, you shouldn't do that because the pieces need to stay separate. If the pan's overcrowded, the heat will reduce. That can prevent browning, cause moisture to be released. That means you're going to have dry meat. Do y'all ever bake bacon?
Yes.
Actually,
love that.
I have done that. It's really good.
It's great.
Yeah.
And I learned very quickly you have to give the bacon a lot of room. Sometimes I'll use 2 trays.
Yes, I have an extra big tray that I
yes.
use. You have to do the same thing when you're roasting vegetables. If you pile them on top of each other, they become more steamed and fall apart.
Exactly.
Rather than like getting caramelized to brown.
See, speaking of
sorry.
No, this is part of it though. And that's baking. No, that's good because that's baking. This is boiling broccoli, and a lot of times you boil the broccoli, but it gets all mushy. So the trick to that is you want to wait as soon as it turns bright green, that beautiful vibrant green, pull it out, put it under cold water. That keeps it from cooking any further. And then this is my favorite weird trick. If you over salt something, a splash of cream, or perhaps something you might have right there, a splash of wine, especially white wine, it neutralizes the salt in whatever you're preparing. So just give it a splash. That'll make it not as salty.
Yeah, that's
Problem, what if you ever salt your popcorn, which I've done.
Okay,
more times.
I'm speaking more like an entree, like meat or something. I mean, technically you could just give it a big splash. Yeah, I was about to say, we may be onto something there. Hold on. We might be onto something. A little wine-flavored popcorn.
I love it.
But yeah, more for like meats and entrees and stuff, but it does
That's a great trick.
These are all good things. Yes, and I do prefer now cooking bacon in the oven versus on the stovetop. It is so much less messy.
And you put aluminum foil, so then you just fold up the
throw it
aluminum
away.
foil. Done and
You
done.
don't have grease everywhere. You just throw the grease away. It works beautifully.
Love it. We're talking about cooking. Here's somebody who really knows what she's doing. Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be making coconut crusted chicken fingers. And Nate Burgess, he makes the cutest things.
Yes. Y'all have a great Friday.